ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Next, so that's end of the internal energy and work done. So now we can discuss about the major important formula. Here it is first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. What is the first law of thermodynamics? Zeroth law we discussed already. That is based on equilibrium, thermal equilibrium concept. If two bodies are in thermal equilibrium individually with the third body, then those two bodies are also said to be in thermal equilibrium, like that. So that is the definition of zeroth law. Then what is? So zeroth law explains about what? Concept of temperature. Concept of temperature. But what about this first law of thermodynamics? Most important. So from this point onwards, based on this formula only, remaining all part working. So whatever are the problems we can do entirely based on this first law of thermodynamics only. What is first law of thermodynamics? So the definition is, so amount of heat energy supplied to the system, amount of heat energy supplied to the system is utilized in two ways. Whatever is the amount of heat energy supplied to the system is utilized in two ways. Some part of the energy is used to increase the internal energy, of the system. Some part of the energy is used to increase the internal energy of the system. Remaining part is used to do the external work. So these are the two ways. Whatever is the amount of heat energy supplied to the system is used in two ways. Some part of the energy used to increase the internal energy of the system, and remaining part is used to do the external work done. So that is the first law of thermodynamics. So what is the formula is here? We can write it as dq is equals to du plus dw. dq is equals to du plus dw. What is dq here? Amount of heat energy supplied to the system. Amount of heat energy supplied to the system. What is du? Change in internal energy of the system. Change in internal energy of the system. Next, dw is external work done. dw is the external work done. Work done by the system or on the system, depending on the different situations. Later we can discuss about what is dw is external work done. So this is change in internal energy. Change means maybe increase or decrease. Change means maybe increase or decrease, like this. So this is the first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. Amount of heat energy supplied to the system is utilized in two ways. So that is, this is the amount of heat energy supplied, dq. is the amount of heat energy supplied. It is utilized in two ways, to increase the internal energy as well as to do the external work done. To increase the internal, some part of the energy is used to increase the internal energy, remaining part is used to do the external work done. So this is the first law of thermodynamics. Basic thing, this is based on law of conservation of energy. So this, the first law of thermodynamics, this is based on, so it is based on law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of energy. What is law of conservation of energy? Energy neither be created nor be destroyed, but one form of the energy converts into another form. One form of the energy converts into another form. That is law of conservation of energy. So that means we are supplying heat energy, we are supplying dQ. So supplying heat energy is utilized in two ways. Some part is used to increase the internal, change in internal energy only, external work done, that is also energy. So one form of energy converts into another form, that is first law of thermodynamics. So this is the formula, dQ is equals to du plus dW. So what is dQ? Amount of heat energy supplied. What is du? Change in internal energy. What is dW? External work done. So that is the situation. So this is first law of thermodynamics. Just basic natural phenomena it is. Natural phenomena it is. So daily we are taking the food. Some part of the food is used to increase the internal energy. That means for our growth purpose. Remaining is to do the external work done. To do the external works, some part of energy, like that. That is law of conservation of energy. So this is first law of thermodynamics. And what are the some sign conventions also here we have. Sign conventions. What are the sign conventions here? So we know the relation dQ is equals to du plus dW. So dQ is equals to du plus dW. When the dQ is positive, when the dQ is negative, when du is positive, when du is negative, when dW is positive, when dW is negative, that's we can discuss. First, come to the point dQ. If heat energy supplied to the system, if heat energy supplied to the system, that means we are supplying heat energy, we are giving heat energy. So that means dQ is positive. If heat energy supplied to the system, then dQ is positive. Next, if heat energy taken out from the system, taken out or extracts, heat energy taken out from the system or extract from the system, taken out from the system, dQ is negative. So these are the sign conventions. When we can use this positive sign, when we can use this negative sign, that is important. That means we are supplying heat energy to the system, that means we are helping to others. So that is positive. We are taking help, that means heat energy taken out from the system or extract from the system, then dQ is negative. Next, when du is positive, when du is negative, here next, if the temperature of the system increases, if the temperature of the system increases, then du is positive. If the temperature of the system increases, then du is positive. Next, if the temperature of the system decreases, if the temperature of the system decreases, then du is negative. If the temperature of the system increases, du is positive. If the temperature of the system decreases, du is negative. Next, what about dw, work done? If work done by the system, then dw is positive. Or if work done on the system, then dw is negative. So these are the sign conventions. In case of first law of thermodynamics. When we can consider dq is positive, when we can consider du, when we can consider dw. See here, work done by the system. So that means due to the supply of heat energy, the system expands by itself. That is called work done by the system. Work done on the system. If we supply energy or if we supply force, we are forcibly move the piston inwards or outwards. We forcibly move the piston inwards or outwards. That is called work done on the system. By the system means system by itself expands. Due to the supply of heat energy, by itself system expands. That is work done by the system. On the system means if you forcibly move the piston inwards, so that is work done on the system, that is dw is negative. So these are the sign conventions of the first law of thermodynamics. So when dq is positive, negative, when du is positive, negative, when dw is positive, negative. This one. Next. So according to this first law of thermodynamics, so dq is equals to du plus dw. How can we explain melting and boiling process? First we can discuss about what is meant by melting process. Melting process means at certain temperature, if you supply certain amount of heat energy to the system, or if you supply certain amount of heat energy to the ice, then ice melts. So that means here melting process means due to increase in temperature, ice melts. So during this melting process, dq can be written as ml. So therefore ml is equals to du plus dw. So ml is equals to du plus dw can be written as pdv. This is the melting process. So during this melting process, ice transfers from one state to another state. Of course, if the temperature, generally due to increase in temperature only ice melts. But during that melting process, we can consider temperature remains constant. Of course, if the temperature remains constant, change in internal energy of the system is 0. That means internal energy of the system does not changes. Due to change in temperature, internal energy of the system does not changes. That is the concept. But here ice converts into water. State of the substance changes. That means solid state to liquid state. Definitely internal energy of the system must be changes. So here melting process means the substance changing from solid state to liquid state. Definitely internal energy of the system must be changes. So from this ml is equals to du plus pdv. if volume, if the dV is equals to 0, that means what we can write, volume remains constant. Volume remains constant. If dV equals to 0, that means volume of the system remains constant. Therefore, ml is equals to du plus p into 0. Therefore, from this du can be written as ml. The internal energy of the system is nothing but ml. When the situation, if dV is equals to 0. Next, during this process, if volume decreases, then P into dV is negative. So, therefore, ml is equals to du minus pdV. During this melting process, if the volume of the system decreases, of course, if it is possible, then from this du can be written as change in internal energies ml plus pdV. What is the change in internal energy is equals to ml plus pdV. When the situation, if the volume of the system decreases. Next, if volume increases during this melting process, if the volume increases, then P into dV is positive. That means final volume is greater than initial volume. If the final volume is greater than initial volume, that's why volume increases. So, pdV is positive. Therefore, we can write ml is equals to du plus pdV. So, from this change in internal energy can be written as ml minus pdV. So, this is the internal energy changes in different situations. How the internal energy changes in this melting process? Of course, if the ice converts into water at constant temperature, then we can consider it is ml. So, in this temperature remains, that means due to temperature remains constant, actually change in internal energy of the system must be 0. But due to change in the state of the substance, how the internal energy changes here. So, this is the situation. Volume remains constant. If the volume remains constant, this is the situation. If the volume decreases, this is the change in internal energy. If volume increases, this is the change in internal energy. So, this is during melting process. Next, during boiling process. Next, during boiling process. Boiling process. Boiling means, so water converts into steam. So, let us say, let US is internal energy of steam, that means water already converts into steam, and UW is internal energy of water, and Vs is volume of the steam, and Vw is volume of water. During boiling process, that means water converts into steam, in this situation, let us say Us is considered as the internal energy of the system and Uw is the internal energy of the water, and Vs is the volume of the steam and Vw is the volume of the water. In this situation, let us say, according to the formula, dq is equals to du plus dw. Let us say temperature remains constant because converting of water to steam. dq can be written as ml, so that is equals to du in the sense final internal energy minus initial internal energy, change in internal energy. Water converts into steam, that is why final minus initial, plus dw, that means P into volume of the steam minus volume of the steam minus volume of the water, change in volume. ml. So ml is equals to us minus uw plus p into vs minus vw. So us in the sense internal energy of the steam, internal energy of water, p into volume of the steam minus volume of the water it is. So from this we are what we can write, us minus uw is equals to ml minus p into vs minus vw. Definitely volume of the steam must be greater than volume of water. Definitely volume of the steam must be greater than volume, no doubt about that. So from this internal energy minus change in internal energy is equals to, so that is the situation how the internal energy of the system changes here, like this. So in case of melting process it is. So here volume increases, volume decreases, this change, there is no chances here because volume of the steam must be greater than volume of water. Once it evaporates, it occupies more volume when compared to liquid state. So that is the situation. So this is melting and boiling processes during first law of thermodynamics, according to first law of thermodynamics it is. So next, we already discussed about one topic, that is specific heat. We already discussed about specific heat. What is specific heat? The amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of unit mass of the substance through 1 degree. Amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of unit mass of the substance through 1 degree, that is called specific heat. That is called specific heat, no doubt about that. In this situation now, specific heat at constant pressure, specific heat at constant pressure, so it is denoted with Cp, specific heat at constant pressure. So the definition is same, amount of heat energy required, amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of, unit mass of the substance, temperature of unit mass of the substance through 1 degree, at constant pressure. If the pressure remains constant and this process will happen, actually specific heat means the amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of unit mass of the substance through 1 degree, that is called specific heat. The same process must be takes place at constant pressure, that is called specific heat at constant pressure. So from this Cp can be written as 1 by m into dq by dt. Cp is equals to, actually in the previous situation we call it as S, specific heat, 1 by m into dq by dt. So from this we can write dq is equals to mCp dt, dq is equals to mCp dt. This is small cp, that is specific heat at constant pressure or heat capacity, specific heat capacity at constant pressure, anything is right. Specific heat or specific heat capacity at constant pressure. Next, same thing, specific heat at constant volume, specific heat at constant volume, that is Cv. How can you define this? Specific heat at constant volume. So it is defined as same amount of heat energy required, to rise the temperature of unit mass of the substance, temperature of unit mass of the substance through 1 degree at constant volume. 1 degree at constant volume, that is called specific heat at constant volume. Specific heat at constant volume. So that means this can be written as same definition of specific heat that must be maintained at constant pressure, that is called Cp. If it is maintained at constant volume, that is called Cv, that is all. So from this Cv can be written as 1 by m into, so dq by dt. So from this dq is equals to mCv dt. dq is equals to mCv dt. Actually previous in case of specific heat we can write it as ms dt, dq equals to ms dt, but it is mCp dt and mCv dt. So this is specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume. Of course, here work done dW is equals to, I forgot to remember this point, one thing in case of work done. So we know dW is equals to PdV. What is dV? So dV is change in volume. Here in this situation, if volume remains constant, if volume of the system remains constant, then dV is equals to 0. There is no change. If the volume of the system kept constant, there is no change. That is why dV equals to 0. Therefore, dW is equals to P into 0. So dW is equals to 0. dW is equals to 0. So that means remember that if the volume of the system remains constant, work done by the system or work done on the system must be 0. If volume of the system remains constant, volume of the system kept constant, then work done by the system or work done on the system must be equal to 0, no doubt about that. So that is 0. So this is the specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume. Next to same way we can discuss about molar specific heats. What is molar specific heat? This is the specific heats, and next one is molar specific heat. Molar specific heat. So simply it is defined at constant pressure again. Molar specific heat at constant pressure. It is due to capital CPTs. Capital Cp. How can you define this is? So it is defined as amount of heat energy required, to rise the temperature of one mole of the substance here. In the previous situation we discussed about unit mass, but here the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of the substance, through 1 degree, that is called molar heat, molar specific heat. If it takes at constant pressure, that is called molar specific heat at constant pressure. Amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of 1 mole of the substance through 1 degree Celsius. 1 mole of the substance through 1 degree. So that is called, what is that? Molar heat capacity or molar specific heat at constant pressure. So this can be defined as capital Cp, that is equals to 1 by n into dq by dt. So the previous case we discussed about unit mass, but in place of unit mass here we have 1 mole. So that's why I am writing N, where N is number of moles. So from this we can write dq is equals to N Cp dt, dq at constant pressure, dq at P, that is equals to N Cp dt, capital Cp. But from this we can write it as number of moles can be written as small m by capital M into, so dq by dt. So from this Cp is equals to capital M by small m into dq by dt. So but here Cp is equals to m into 1 by small m into dq by dt. So therefore capital Cp can be written as m into small cp. Cp is equals to capital M into small cp. Ante what is the meaning of this is molar heat capacity at constant pressure is equal to molecular weight times the specific heat at constant pressure. Capital Cp is the molar heat capacity, molar specific heat at constant pressure. Small cp is the heat specific heat at constant pressure. So this is the difference. So capital Cp is equals to m into small cp. That is the relation between molar specific heat and specific heat. Molar specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant pressure. This is molar and this is just specific heat. So that is Cp is equals to 1 by N into dq by dt. Cp is equals to 1 by small m, N can be written, number of moles can be written as small m by capital M, fraction reverse, that is m into Cp it is. Next condition is molar specific heat at constant volume. It is denoted with capital Cv. Same definition it is. Amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of 1 mole of the substance, 1 mole of the substance through 1 degree. One degree at constant volume it is. Amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of 1 mole of the substance through 1 degree. Up to this it is common, but at constant volume it is. If it takes place at constant volume, this is called molar specific heat at constant volume, this is. So this can be written as capital Cv is equals to again 1 by N into, so dq by dt. So from this dq at V can be written as N Cv dt, dq at V, heat energy supplied at constant volume. If the heat energy is supplied at constant pressure, then we can use this relation. If the heat energy is supplied at constant volume, we can use this relation. So from this Cv is equals to 1 by small m by capital M, again number of moles can be written as, so that is dq by, so dt. Cv is equals to capital M by small m into dq by dt. So Cv is equals to m into 1 by m into dq by dt. So this capital Cv can be written as m into small cv. 1 by m into dq by dt is nothing but we can write it as Cv, molar specific heat at constant volume. So Cv is equals to capital M into Cv. So it is capital Cp. So this is molar specific heat at constant volume and this is specific heat at constant volume. So that is the relation between molar heat, molar specific heat and specific heats. Capital Cp and capital Cv are the molar specific heats. Small cp and small cv are the specific heats at constant pressure and volume. and this is the relation between them like this.